Hi guys, I cannot believe that I am sitting here and I'm about to tell you about my breastfeeding journey and that it's now officially over. It's kind of crazy because I had wanted to stop for such a long time, and now that I've stopped, I'm thinking about it and I'm like, oh my god, I didn't get emotional about it. Like, a lot of moms cry once they stop breastfeeding, but I don't know whether it's because I'm breastfeeding. I don't know whether it's because I am pregnant and I know I'm gonna have to do it all over again, that I'm just so happy it's over. But I have finally officially stopped breastfeeding. It's been over 2 weeks. I've actually lost count how long it's been because I don't even want to think about it. Okay, so I breastfed for 22 months exactly, which is almost 2 years, just minus 2 months. And it has been an amazing journey, I must say. And I'm wearing my Hey Mama jumper today because I feel like this is the right video to be wearing this at. So where do I even begin? I always knew I wanted to breastfeed for 2 years. That's always been on my mind when I first got pregnant, and it's something I wanted to do. Especially, I thought, if I don't get pregnant, then it's something I definitely want to do. And I personally did not think I would get pregnant this soon because having a baby is not easy, but Nazmia needs a friend, so her needs come first. Anyway, all jokes aside, I am really excited to be sharing my tips and tricks and what worked for me with you guys, because it is very difficult. So I originally wanted to stop feeding when she was 1 year old. It was tough. I remember I didn't sleep for 40 days straight. Like, I counted. I was like, okay, this is day 7. Then it was like day 22. And I remember clearly, I was like, oh my god, it's been 30 days. I have not slept because she would just feed the whole night. She would just feed the whole night and I couldn't sleep. I literally couldn't sleep. It was so tough, but I kept going because... So the reason why I kept going for me personally was because, okay, the first thing, which isn't the number one thing, but what comes into mind is the vaccines. Every time she got vaccinated, it was just so much easier to breastfeed because she would get ill, but the illness wouldn't last, and it was soothing for her, so it was easy for me. Then I just could not imagine getting up in the middle of the night and cleaning and making bottles. Like, I'm not somebody who gets out of bed. Like, no way, I can't do that. And once I've woken up, like, I can't go back to sleep. So I couldn't imagine doing that. And then so yeah, that just was not an option for me, and I just found breastfeeding to be so much easier. It's more nutritious, it's recommended, so I thought, I'm gonna do it. This is my first child. Now, when I got to 1.5 years, so she's 18 months now, and I was like, okay, you know what, I'm ready to stop. And I tried to stop, and it was so difficult. She didn't want to let go. She didn't want it to end. So I kind of just kept going and going and going. Then I just couldn't stop. Like, for me, it was so much easier. Like, if she woke up crying in the night, I could just do that without even opening my eyes. It was so easy. Like, I found it, having an only child, I found it super easy and convenient, minus the sleepless nights. And then also, Nazmia was a very difficult baby in terms of breastfeeding. Like, she wanted it all the time. She wouldn't have it once in the night or twice in the night. I wish she had it 3 times in the night. No, she was up like every 10 minutes, every 20 minutes. Then it got to every hour. And it was just too much. I couldn't deal with it. And then I found out I was pregnant, and I was like, okay, right, I have to stop now because I cannot imagine feeding all the way till I am so big and I'm so just very uncomfortable. And then I was worried, oh my god, what if I can't stop when the baby comes? Like, I really want to focus on the baby. I don't want to be breastfeeding my toddler who is getting really big. So I found out I was pregnant in February, and then the whole February I tried, it didn't work. And then March, slowly, this is where it actually begins, guys. This is how I stopped breastfeeding. So in March, I came up with a new technique that I don't know, I've never heard of this. I kind of just made it up myself. I tried to read a lot and I asked for a lot of advice, and a lot of people, it was crying out and it was like, oh, leave her with a family member, and I couldn't leave her for a whole week because I've never left her for that long. I've never even left her for a night. And then my sister-in-law started taking her for one night, once a week. Well, this is the thing. So no, she didn't start taking her yet. My sister-in-law would take her for the whole day to try and help me to stop, and Nazmia would come back and still have it. So it was not working. And then I thought, you know what, I would put her into bed on a, not on her, before she never used to sleep on a pillow, but now I started putting her on the pillow, and I would get a teddy, which is something she never really used to sleep with teddies, but I would get like her favorite teddy or whatever it was, soft toy it was, and I would be like, okay, you're gonna lie down with the baby, teddy, dolly, or whoever it was, and mama's gonna lie next to you. And then I would give her a little pep talk, and I'll say, look, you can't have this anymore, this is for baby, you're not a baby anymore, you're a big girl, but I'm gonna sleep with you, we're gonna lie together, close our eyes, and we're gonna sleep together. And I just kept reassuring her that I'm gonna be there all the time. And then like it didn't work, but then she'll feed less, and I noticed her feeding less, and then after a few days I just did not give it to her, and she was okay. Like, she was actually fine. She fell asleep, she slept for about an hour, but then she woke up crying. So this is where my problems were. It was, I finally managed to get her to fall asleep without it. However, in the night, when she'll wake up in the middle of the night, it was difficult. I couldn't explain it to her. Also, I feel like I did it at the right time because she was ready to stop, because she understood everything. I could just explain things to her. So every night we get on, like, it got to the point where I didn't need to say to her, go lie down. Like, she will get her teddy and lie down on the pillow, and she knows what's happening. This was if she's tired. So that worked. And then I would slowly just stopped every day. So every like 3 to 4 days I would cut a night feed out. So she was feeding only in the mornings now. So she'll have her morning feed, which was at about 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. She would have about an hour feed. And I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. So I tried to cut that out, but then she would just wake up. And I thought, you know what? She's just going to have to wake up. I'm just going to have to stop doing it. And eventually I was on 0 feeds a night, which was amazing. A lot of people asked if I substituted it with milk. No, Nazmia is not a milk person. She's not a milk drinker. She has hot chocolate. That's it. Like, I give that to her during the day, so that's kind of like her milk dose. So she wouldn't take a bottle, none of that stuff, no dummies, nothing. Like, she doesn't have nothing. And at this point, so it's literally June beginning, no, it's like towards the end of May, and then my sister-in-law started taking her for one night a week, which helped so much. This is how Nazmia completely got over her night feeds. However, I still had 1 feed left, and that was her nap feed. That took about a good 2 weeks for me to stop giving it to her, and to this day those feeds are the worst. Her day naps are so difficult. Like, she really would not nap without it. She would scream and cry until I give it to her. And even though now, like, my milk's finished, everything, she would still do it. So a lot of the time she wouldn't nap at all. She would refuse to, because she really just wants to breastfeed, and I can't. And even if I give it to her, there's nothing in there, so she gets frustrated. And the pep talk for me is what worked the best. So I feel like if your child is old enough and they understand, go. And you don't want to do your cry out method or anything too extreme, because that's how I felt. I felt like all the other methods were too extreme. I just kept talking to her and explaining to her, and like, now she understands. Like, now when she sees it, she's like, this is for baby, and she'll start laughing and giggling, and she understands that she's a big girl now and it's not for her. And yeah, so that is basically my breastfeeding journey and how I managed to stop. It was long and tedious, however, I did it in my own time, and I did it how I wanted it to be, which was minimal crying. Like there was a little bit of crying, but it wasn't crazy, and it was just easy for both of us because I couldn't do cry out methods. I couldn't bear to leave her for more than a night anywhere, and it just wasn't for us. So this is what worked for us, and I thought, you know what, if it worked for us, then maybe it could work for other moms too. And I really hope you guys find this video somewhat helpful, and I really hope this helps some of you, because it really helped me. And so now every time I put her to sleep, I lie with her and I give her a little pep talk before we go to sleep, and she loves that. Like, she waits for it and she's really excited for it. So I'm really glad I did that, because it's our little bedtime routine now, because we didn't have the whole read a book, have a bath every day kind of thing. So this is our routine, where I lie next to her, we get her favorite teddy, and then I tell her things like, you know, I'm gonna sleep next to you and I love you so much. And I might talk a little bit, but she doesn't like talking too much, because then she starts tapping my face. Just shut up, basically. And then eventually I'm like, okay, now it's time to go to sleep, close your eyes. And I would either continue cuddling her, or I'll turn around but I'm still there and she knows I'm still there, and then she falls asleep. And yeah, that's basically what works for me. And yeah, like I said, hope this helps somebody out there, and I shall see you guys in my next video. And if you have any questions, let me know down below, because I'd love to answer them if you want to know anything else. And I shall see you guys in my next one. Bye.